All right, now we're live. Hi.
Dad Goblin here.
Papa Goblin, disheveled Goblin. We're going to be setting up the bookshelves.
Shiny Goblin. Good morning.
Morning.
Wherever you are.
He's going to read whatever you're saying to me while I set up the shelves. So if anything goes wrong, blame him.
Why are you speaking so loud? Doesn't the mic work?
It does. I don't know why I was yelling so much. I was projecting. I'm sorry.
He's noisy. I'm not going to yell. Good morning, wherever you are in the world, or good afternoon, or good evening, or sleep well.
Whatever. I saw some people saying it was like 2 or 3 for them, so I assume that's Europe. Yeah. It has to be.
Somebody says it would be 9 o'clock, p.m., a.m., who knows? Okay, so we set up bookshelves yesterday, among many other things.
I tore doors out of the wall.
No, he didn't.
Okay, I tore them out of the frame.
So we're in Daniel's new home in Richmond, Virginia, at an undisclosed location. And
I was like, how specific are you going to get here?
Guten Tag von Deutschland. Wie geht's?
Okay, stop showing off.
I'm just a poor boy from the South. I don't know nothing about no foreign languages nor nothing about that.
He speaks fluent German.
I used to speak fluent German.
You can pick it up quick, probably.
Oh, someone's from York in the UK. Hello. York. Is that in the Midlands? I haven't been to the UK in a while.
You don't know where York is?
No. Where's York?
I don't know.
I know where New York is. My last visits to the UK were Newcastle and Manchester. Newcastle is way up north. It was December, and I didn't think we were ever going to have any sunlight.
I just want to point out, of course, I'm putting the Wheel of Time books.
Villa Cruz. Live in Virginia, too. So what, Daniel?
I just want to point out, I'm putting the Wheel of Time books up first. I also just heard a big crash from downstairs. Dad, you entertain them. I'll be right back.
His Roomba's running amok downstairs, so that may have struck something. Namaste, right back at you. We look alike? He thinks I look alike. Hello from Switzerland, Schweiz. Oh, Knoxville, my neck of the woods. I live in Nashville now, have for the last 10 years, and don't want to ever leave Nashville. Grew up near Asheville, that's in North Carolina, but now I live in Nashville, and I never want to leave Music City. It's so pretty. Pardon my banging around. I'm having a cup of tea at the moment. Is Pips good? Pips is great. Pips is settling into the new home. Let me pet him this morning, so that's a bit of a breakthrough. And all is well in Pips' world.
All right, I'm back. Sorry. The Roomba knocked down a bunch of pictures that haven't been hung yet.
I said it was the Roomba running amok.
Yeah, you're right.
Dolly Parton, yes. Pigeon Forge, Sevierville, Gatlinburg. That is the tackiest part of Tennessee. But God love Dolly Parton. She is absolutely awesome, and we all love her.
Are you making enemies of people in Tennessee?
No, I love Dolly Parton. Everybody, conservatives, ultra-liberals like me, we all love us some Dolly.
Well, you just said it was tacky, though.
Oh, Pigeon Forge, Sevierville, Gatlinburg. Oh, my God, it's tacky. And I can say that because I grew up very near there. That's my neck of the woods.
What makes them tacky, though?
Well, if you want a rubber tomahawk and a T-shirt that says, "My mama's a fat one," then that's the place to go.
All right, fair. I didn't know they had a specialty body shaming of mother's shirt.
Oh, they've got everything in that neck of the woods. Vienna, Austria. Oh, I've never been to Austria. I've been in a lot of countries, 20-some, 30-some countries, but never there. Singapore. Been to Singapore. Rasa Sentosa was where I stayed and loved it over there. I was training for a marathon in Singapore, and I'm running along this trail, and I decided to take a shortcut back to my hotel because I was going to be late for a meeting. And as I start to go off the trail, there's a tiny little sign next to the trail that says, "Stay on trail, cobras." That's all I needed to read. That was a perfectly clear little message, and that was all. I stayed on the trail. Yeah, it's cool.
That's hilarious.
I love the Nederlands. Yes, I used to spend time way out in the middle of nowhere. What was the name of that town? Something, it had to do with a river and a small mountain. Anyway, yes, I love the Netherlands. Spent a lot of time in Amsterdam too. Oh my God, I can't remember the name of that town because it had the word hill in it, and there was no hill anywhere near that town.
Can you click that super chat?
Oh yeah, super chat. Hello, I'm not doing my job. I got to scroll up here.
I gave you one job.
One job, and I've screwed it up already. Okay.
Last book you read? Oh, he's doing The Expanse, right?
Yeah, I am not doing Dresden right now because I've done all of Dresden. I'm not going to read it again. So I'm back to my original love, science fiction. And loved Murderbot. Can't wait to hear the review of the new one that's coming out this month. But I'm an Expanse guy now and just finished the second book of The Expanse, Somebody's Battle, Carlito or something like that.
Caliban's War.
Caliban's War.
Carlito's Battle? What?
Anyway, I'm at book 2 of The Expanse and loving The Expanse. It's old time space opera, science fiction-y stuff, and I love that. So I'm loving The Expanse. Thank you for asking. Daniel, what's the last? Oh, that was for me. What's the last book you read? What did you think of it?
I just finished the new Murderbot, and I just finished the new Stephen King too, which was kind of disappointing. It was mediocre Stephen King. But I will say, as fluent as I am in fantasy, he is in sci-fi. So if you guys have sci-fi questions, he's the guy to go to.
Well, old sci-fi.
Well, okay, all the important classic sci-fi.
And he read the Murderbot book before it's even out yet. I'm so jealous. He won't let me even see the cover. Stay tuned for a review someday.
Right
I haven't even seen it. Anyway, that's that news.
So
where are we here? Okay.
I'm just kind of putting books up into places I think they look good.
I'm an Aussie, but I have a random British. Oh, I used to be able to fake an Aussie accent back when I used to go down under often. But
don't do offensive accents of my subscribers.
I will not. No more accents. But I am, and maybe those guys reckon they can do an old guy accent for you.
Don't blame anyone who leaves after that.
Yes, love Australia, love Cairns, Townsend. Not a big fan of Melbourne. It feels too cold Englandish for me, but I love Sydney.
Well, that was like the best trip you and I ever did together as a kid.
We climbed the Sydney Bridge together.
Yeah, and we scuba dived in the Great Barrier Reef. That was awesome.
Yeah, we went on a liveaboard for a while. No, that's not the town I'm thinking. It's not. What was the name of it? A limo for GE picked me up at the airport Schiphol, and then we went all the way up to.
Don't make him think too hard, guys.
Berg, something Berg. Anyway, yeah, I used to travel a lot for work.
You just click another and click it again, it'll pop off.
Oh,
just click a random one and then double click it and it'll go away.
I am a
then click it again.
Million miler on United and a million miler on American. So yes, I used to travel a lot for business, and I'm sitting on about 1 million Southwest miles and 1 million United miles now. So I need to get back on an airplane.
There's another super dono.
What's your least favorite book, Daniel? Pancake. I could use a pancake right now.
Least favorite book? That's a good one. Probably, I have a general just hatred for Ready Player 2 because of how much of a disservice that did to the original book. Not that the original book is anything that's a masterpiece, but I would say the worst book I've ever read still remains Fifth Sorceress, just from the abysmal and blatant issues that go on throughout it. Yeah, that's probably my least favorite book. What about you, Dad?
I read the cover jacket of a Rush Limbaugh book once, and that's, I guess, my least favorite thing I've ever read. Bend your knees, save your back.
Sorry. Yeah.
My knees are bending fine, thank you very much.
Yeah, he's got new ones.
2 new knees and a new shoulder. I'm a new bionic man for going. Yep, I turned 70 this year, so got to go into the next decade strong.
You're not allowed to keep aging. You have to stop.
Okay. Got a new question. When Pligadibidibab comes back, please say it, Will Daniel. I want senior goblin guest host.
Oh, please, dear God, don't be a bomb. This one I open packages.
We've been opening boxes. Oh my God. Half his boxes are nothing but HDMI cables and stuff like that. But
I have a lot of electronics.
He's got way more cables than he does electronics. We've been watching some cool television the last few nights, though. Got just caught up with the new Falcon and the Winter Soldier, which
no spoilers. People probably not finished it.
Love me some Marvel.
Yeah. Well, you've been getting more and more into Marvel. We watched Endgame as well.
That's right. We watched Endgame again last night. Say something by Terry Goodkind. Oh, that was. What do you like least? How about Terry Goodkind, Daniel?
Yeah, that's. I just tend to block that out.
Somebody said I don't seem like I'm about to be 70. Isn't that sweet? I love you, whoever you are.
He still can bike a century if he trains for it. He's a killer.
And I'm in the process of getting back into biking shape. Caliban's War. That's the one.
I just told you that was.
Any recommendations for anything similar? Well, the first book was kind of similar, and I'm hoping that the third one is as well.
And if they ask for a recommendation, don't just recommend the first book.
Oh, okay. Something like Caliban's War, classic science fiction. Let me think about that.
I didn't particularly like it, but I know there's a lot of appeal for Ringworld out there. It's kind of
Tasmania, Wheel of Time Love. Read it once and a half, liked it a lot.
You have to say you loved it. That's a law in this house.
It was so long, and there was the slog, but it finished really strong. So yes, loved it. Honest opinion of Breach of Peace.
Get him to read more Sanderson because he'll love it.
I really liked Breach of Peace. It was a good first effort. I really am looking forward to the next two in the series, one of which has apparently already been published, according to Goodreads.
I'm at war with Goodreads, if you've seen my Twitter. I tried to tell, I'll make a whole video on this in the future, probably.
That was hilarious last night. I'm down there watching Marvel, and Daniel's, Goodreads! Ah!
They can't go a month without pissing me off or something.
No, I'm very proud of Breach of Peace, too. Daniel's writing style has come a long way since high school, and I haven't read a lot of his stuff since I was reading his papers for dyslexia errors and stuff back in the day. Science fiction author that's lesser known and obscure do you recommend to Daniel? Obscure to Daniel, people like Theodore Sturgeon, Piers Anthony.
Anyone over 40 probably loves those names.
Yeah. Back in the day, some of the greatest science fiction authors of the time were writing episodes for Star Trek, believe it or not, and they're all great.
And that's why Star Trek now can't compare. They don't bring in the great sci-fi authors of today. They just bring in random schlock people, and they can't write on the level of the people who wrote for original or Next Generation or even up to like Voyager.
Well, even Next Generation, they started to try to have these overarching evolutions of character and plot and all that, which is fine. But science fiction, the original Star Trek, schlocky as it might have been, would have a science idea and see how it played out. And then a whole nother one in the next episode, and then something funny in the one after that. And I really like that about science fiction.
He has the wrong opinion that the original series is better than TNG. So,
and Kirk would kick Picard's butt.
That's because Kirk would just roll up and shoot first.
Yeah.
That doesn't count as kicking butt. That's just a war crime.
Hey, Daniel, have you seen the Wheel of Time TV episode that got rushed for release and then quickly taken down or something?
No, you're talking about Winter's Heart or Winter's Dragon, whatever it's called. Yeah, I watched that a long time ago, and that was a whole part of the early part of the channel, but I'm really looking forward to another attempt. I was actually living with this guy in Arizona when it came out, and we both watched it, I think, and we both went, okay, that happened, and we moved on.
Okay, I'm an old guy, and I have old guy sensibilities. So anytime one of my sons gets a tattoo, I cringe and go shake under the bed for a couple of hours and then get up and try to get over it. Are you going to get a tattoo from your book, Daniel?
Possibly when the trilogy's done, but the next one's going to be for Discworld. I'm also armed and dangerous.
Oh, speaking of Discworld, I have read Small Gods and loved it and look forward to reading more Discworld, but I want to finish The Expanse. I want to read the new Murderbot, and then I think I'll get back to Discworld. Is that my TBR?
Yeah, I think so. That's your TBR.
Oh my God, look, he's pulling out my old science fiction books. There's Heinlein from high school. I was in high school back in the 1960s. That was a long time ago.
High school when Heinlein was publishing?
Yeah.
You're so old. No offense.
When was this published? This is an old one because it says author of Stranger in a Strange Land, and that was one of his later works. This was published in 1954. No, I was 3 years old in 1954. Okay. So, yeah. But Heinlein was still around. He was a military guy. Here's a, hey, Goblin Senior. Oh, that's me, I think. Talking about sci-fi. Have you read Red Rising?
No, you wouldn't.
No.
He likes stuff that's more lighthearted. Red Rising is pretty dark for his cup of tea. So I'm care. It's not so much darker than The Expanse though. So I don't know. I'll think about that.
I didn't consider The Expanse dark at all.
Okay.
Have you read much Heinlein? I've read, I think, everything Heinlein ever wrote.
That's a bold claim.
No, back in the day, Heinlein, Asimov, the greats. I think I read them all.
Oh wow. Okay. Well, this also needs to be.
Have either of y'all read Ursula Le Guin science fiction, Thinking of Left Hand of Darkness, and The Dispossessed? Dispossessed.
Unfortunately, I've only ever read Le Guin's fantasy. Have you?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Who's the woman that wrote The Dragon Riders of Pern?
They'll tell you that in 3 seconds.
Okay. Loved her stuff. Read a lot of her stuff. Reading Warbreaker. Go Tar Heels. Yes. I bleed Carolina blue. I am a total fanatic. Daniel and Arthur C. Clarke rearranging books. Ooh, love me some Arthur C. Clarke.
I don't know. I haven't even been really paying attention. Did I pull out Arthur C. Clarke?
Somebody mentioned Arthur C. Clarke.
Okay.
Left Hand of Darkness, one of the most amazing books ever. Go for it. Wow.
Okay.
McCaffrey, thank you. These people know everything.
They are knowledgeable.
You have your own little fantasy and science fiction Wikipedia here.
So I'm stuck. Okay, audience, I need your opinion here. I'm trying to do fantasy, sci-fi divided a little bit, but if I come across an author that did both, should I put them together regardless? Because I have Paolini, sci-fi, and fantasy, and it's a little, I don't know. Also, we got more super chats.
I think you should have a debate as to whether it is science fiction or it is fantasy, one or the other. Hello from Houston. Oh my God, that is a hot town. Either of you read The Enchantress from the Stars by Sylvia Engdahl?
Nope.
Nope. Have not heard of that. Sorry.
Still love you though.
Totally. Philip Dick, yes. And Daniel and I will get into an incredible debate over his feeling that the new Blade Runner is better than the original.
Blade Runner 2049 has better pacing, acting, effects, plot, themes, everything. The old one is very good, but it also has the pacing of a slug on heroin.
The acting is so much better in the original one. It is fantastic. And the scenes, like the death scene at the end, oh my God, I love the original so much better. It's
Watching Harrison Ford kind of try is totally flawless acting, sure. Sorry, okay, we'll move on.
He was not the greatest actor in it. Rutger Hauer was, but
yeah,
good stuff.
Yeah, I will agree with you. Rutger Hauer does circles around Harrison Ford.
And even Daryl Hannah is good in that movie. But Philip K. Dick, yes. I think he wrote did he write a Star Trek episode? He may have. He was certainly flourishing at that time. And everybody's agreeing with Daniel. That's because you're a bunch of young whippersnappers. Kind of have to agree the old one is better. Thank you, Con von Tiedemann. Yes.
Don't let him think he's right.
Daniel has a pointy head. Okay.
I have a pointy head. Probably do. I need to get a haircut so bad.
Oh, something none of you have ever heard of. If you want a wonderful children's story, it's called The Point, and it's by one of my favorite pop stars ever, a guy named Harry Nilsson, from before any of you were born. But he wrote The Point, yeah, wow. And did the album of The Point, and Me and My Arrow. I almost named my dog after it. The old one built the story. The new one got moved into a pre-built environment. True. Oh, Harlan Ellison. Yeah. Oh, this is a science fiction chat this morning. Wow. I love Harlan Ellison. Yes, 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 yes. Giving me life this Monday. Oh, that's right. It's Monday. Tone it down. Oh, it's Monday.
Hey, we don't need to tone anything down. We're having fun. If you can't keep up, that's your problem.
Daniel's hair isn't that bad.
I still need a haircut. It's floofy. Oh, wait. I need to find out where I'm going to put mine.
We seem best friends. Yeah, we're really good. Nielsen, Ashencrow. Thank you, thank you, thank you. What's your opinion of Tolkien? Who is this Tolkien person of whom you speak?
Tolkien's, a little overhyped, kind of a hack, I would say. Not very original.
Blade Runner Heresy in the chat is killing me. Have I read Mazatlan, Book of the Fallen? No. That's dark, isn't it?
It's not grim dark, but it's dark. And guys, I love Malazan. He would not love Malazan.
We are streaming from Richmond, Virginia.
Yes, we are.
Enjoying Father Green's accent. Oh, here's a chat.
Yep.
Daniel, show your quality and taste by prominently displaying the Abercrombie book facing outward. Might I suggest The Trouble with Peace or Best Served Cold?
I'll do a little hatred. How about that? I'll do a little hatred facing outward. That'll be my Abercrombie outward. But I will do one outward. There you go.
If you want a fantasy debate, read the Void trilogy by Peter F. Hamilton. I've never heard of it, Stephen. Huh.
There's so many books now out, Dad. You haven't heard of most of them, and neither have I.
Yeah, but this guy's a science fiction expert because his last name's Rocket.
We're just saying dad jokes this morning, guys.
Just saying. Oh, come on. That was low-hanging fruit. Jolkin, Rolkin, Toilkin, yeah. You're both from Virginia. No, I'm a Tar Heel born, a Tar Heel bred. When I die, I'm a Tar Heel dead. From the great state of North Carolina. I lived in Virginia for 25 years when I was raising a couple of sons, but
you know Virginia as well as you know Carolina.
Hey, Daniel, will you notice me if I eat your book after I'm finished reading it? Don't waste the book, Keenan.
Also, you would probably die of ink poisoning or something, I'd assume. So please don't do that.
But Keenan is a major benefactor to the University of North Carolina, after whom the football stadium is named. So go Keenan. Rock on.
If you guys somehow turn this into a UNC chat, I'm gonna be mad.
Does Daniel play any video games?
Yes, quite a bit. I recently replayed Cyberpunk because all these people were talking about the patch that came out, and the patch was an improvement, but it's still pretty much a broken game.
Thank you, Danny, for mentioning North Carolina. Peter F. Hamilton, best book covers, can't stand the writing. Like, I don't care how this parking garage has nothing to do with how the story works.
I have no idea what you just said means.
Me either, but he likes Peter F. Hamilton's book covers.
Okay, that's fair. I will say I like them too. They're wonderful.
Show us one, Daniel.
I'm just saying things to make people happy. Let me be.
Morning, Green Jr. Senior. No, he is not Green Jr. That's my number one son, Thomas, who is not with us. You're number
Ouch!
two. I have two kids, Daniel and Thomas came first. Only just starting to get into science fiction. Did enjoy the Jurassic Park books. Can you recommend anything like it?
Jurassic Park's like science fiction. That's a really good request.
There was a pandemic book written by that same author, which was really, really good. And I can't even remember who wrote Jurassic Park.
I have it in here. I can't remember his name though.
Oh my God, he wrote several good things at that time that are way better than the movies. God, who wrote Jurassic Park?
Oh, the Jurassic Park movie's better than Jurassic
Wait,
Park.
did he write Andromeda Strain, which is a really, really good movie from that time and kind of the same feel?
You're speaking out of my decade here. You're speaking out of my century.
Justin Banner from North Carolina. Where, Justin? What part of Carolina?
Ooh,
Are you a Tar Heel? Michael Crichton, thank you. Andromeda Strain, thank you. Thank you. This Wikipedia thing really works. Everybody has all the answers.
Yeah, well, it's amazing how many things 1,000 people know.
Green Senior and Peregrine Sphere Timeline. Any of you read Orson Scott Card?
Yes. Oh, God, yes. Orson Scott. You know Orson Scott Card.
No.
Really? He wrote,
Yes, the bookcase is in a closet. This was Daniel's brilliant idea,
Yeah.
and I think it really works well. Do you
just
think it's a good
recess
idea?
It saves me a bunch of space. Orson Scott Card wrote Ender's Game.
Asheville. Oh my God, I grew up right outside Black Mountain. So Sam, howdy from my neck of the woods.
Really?
Wow.
This is a small world.
Guten Tag von Deutschland. Crichton, Senior Green. No, I'm lost. Crichton also wrote Jaros. No, that was Peter Benchley. Ender's Game. Okay.
Yeah, he wrote Ender's Game. Where should I put my own book? I'm just going to put
You can take that book and, no, I'm sorry. Daniel is the youngest son.
Yes, I am. I'm the younger child.
Greensboro. My godparents were from Greensboro, North Carolina.
Okay, Pratchett shelf's going to be here. I don't want Harry Potter there. That's too.
You're getting off camera there, Daniel.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
I can't control where visuals are. That's not true. I totally can.
Oh, Rendezvous with Rama. Yes. Was that Larry Niven? Who wrote Rendezvous with Rama? Or was that Clark? Rendezvous with Rama was a wonderful premise and a great book. Loved that.
Talking about fossils up in here now.
No, Rendezvous with Rama is a cool book for any age. Good book. Good call. Hello from Western Tennessee.
Western Tennessee. What cities are out there?
Memphis.
Memphis. Okay.
South, west, Tennessee. Right on the armpit, Tennessee. I love that you have a Pratchett shelf.
Yes, going to do a Pratchett shelf because, of course, this world is goat.
Arthur C. Clarke. Okay, I thought so. Clarke. I love Clarke. He's a real scientist. And yeah, Rama was a good one of his best.
What was Clark's scientific writing or scientific area?
I think he was a physicist by training. We'll get corrected in just a second.
You will. That's the fun part. You really will.
Have you read any Stephen King?
Oh, yeah. Are you a King fan? That's for you.
Oh, for me?
Yeah, they know I'm a Stephen King
Oh,
fan.
I was going to say that was a dumb question.
They know I like King.
I read Stand By Me. I read The Shining. I read some of his early, not so incredibly dark stuff. Because I don't do dark stuff, and so much of his is so dark. Hello from Denmark. How much do we
I
have
still
to have?
want him to do 11/22/63, and he hasn't yet.
How much do we have to donate for a series with you to talk about book, movie, TV? Well, what do you want to talk about, Rasmus?
Okay, no, here's what you got to do. Make him start his own booktube channel. Peer pressure him into it. It'll be great.
Bookshelf. I don't know. Daniel, why is Mistborn on your sci-fi shelf? Huh?
This is no longer the sci-fi shelf. And also, Mistborn will eventually be sci-fi as Sanderson continues to write forward in the future. So, hey.
Who is your favorite incarnation of the Doctor? I assume we mean Doctor Who.
He's not much of a Doctor Who fan. My favorite is David Tennant because Matt Smith is not nearly as good as people claim he is.
And I just randomly watch occasional episodes with whoever's on it. And I've liked the woman who's doing it recently. I thought she was really good.
Ooh, that's an unpopular opinion.
Okay.
You're going to get crap for that.
What can I say? I like women. But I like Doctor Who. I just haven't. Boy, that would be a binge, wouldn't it? I'm going to watch all of Doctor Who the next pandemic. How about that?
That would be how many seasons of television?
I said it would take a pandemic. I see you're a front of shelf person rather than a back of shelf person, Daniel.
I actually am a back of shelf person. The problem is they need to be on camera, and there's going to be more than ever before, so I need to have them as edged as they can be.
Personally, I'm a back of shelf person because that way I can put knickknacks and stuff in the front of the shelves, in front of the books.
It's the better way. I completely agree. But
hey, some brilliant person just said the female Doctor is good.
I'm glad. I actually haven't watched it. I'm just going off the headlines I read.
Hey, Daniel, do you know of China Meadville?
I've heard of them, but I haven't read them yet.
Fan from the north of Brazil.
Brazil. Love me, Brazil.
Hello from Richmond, Virginia. I was wondering what your thoughts were on the finished 2020 Stand miniseries. Thanks, and keep up the good work.
I thought it was weaker in the middle, but it was definitely stronger at the beginning and the end. I actually pretty much really liked the end of it. But I'll do a full comprehensive review eventually. I just have to get the time to do it finally.
Both of you, graphic novels, yay, nay? Go ahead, Daniel.
Yay. I'm very picky about them, though. So it just depends on which one it comes down to. I really loved Mouse, which is one I was made to read in school. That was just a fantastic story from World War II. And there's been quite a few others I've watched. I wanted to get into Why the Last Man, but I've not gotten all the way through it. And then I also want to read another big graphic novel. Can't think of the name. It's with the one with the girl and the horns on the cover. But the best I've probably read, some of Alan Moore's stuff. The guy's crazy, but he does make really good content.
For me, no. Hello. I read a book called Astounding. Well, Astounding used to be an anthology that was published every month of some of the greatest science fiction coming out of the day with people like Asimov, Heinlein, Hubbard, and it was the golden age of science fiction. It was a fascinating book at their lives, both good and bad. So it was probably the name based on that anthology series. This is funny, Daniel. I can reach here and look over the edge here with the.
You guys will soon learn. I get all my dorkiness from right here.
Dad jokes. I'm dad jokes incarnate.
Oh, here's some Expanse books. I think they have beautiful covers.
Here we have one of the Expanse by James A. Corney, which is not James A. Corney, right, Daniel?
Corey. And no, it's two authors writing together.
Under a combined pseudonym?
Yep.
Who ever heard of something like that?
A lot of people do it. Not a lot, but it's been done before.
I'd never heard of that.
Hey, guess what? More HDMI cables.
The one with the girl with the horns on the cover, that's called Saga, and it's amazing.
Yeah, I want to read that, Saga. Thank you for giving me the title.
Saga was the name of the band in, whatchamacallit, right?
What?
Those two novels I read about getting the band back together and
Kings of the Wild.
Kings of the Wild. Saga, I think, was the name of the band.
You know he's got good taste because he likes Kings of the Wild.
Oh, I thought that was a hoot. For both of you, what's your opinion on light novels and novellas?
I haven't really gotten into them yet.
I don't even know what a light novel is. I'm so ignorant.
The internet is spitting out new kinds of genres and things all the time, and it's hard to keep up.
Would you recommend David Eddings for young fantasy readers?
Not particularly. I mean, he's good, but it's not like a #1 recommendation. I'm pushing more and more younger readers into Redwall. I think Redwall is underrated and being forgotten, and I want to prevent that. It does not need to be forgotten. Redwall is brilliant.
Okay.
I'm a passionate man.
Expanse was originally a board game they created together. Huh. Oh, wow.
That's cool.
One came up with more of the game rules, the other more of the writing of the thing. Wow. Well, that's interesting.
That's very interesting.
Yeah. And it was on the internet, so it must be true.
Yeah, I tend to
somebody just said Simon and Garfunkel. Let's talk about classic rock for the next hour.
Guys, if you get him started, that'll be the whole live stream.
Love me some classic rock. Daniel is speed running the bookshelves.
A little bit. I'm just trying to do the best I can. What I got.
I thought this whole thing was about your fans telling you where to put your books.
Well, I have to get it started, and then they'll tell me how to reorganize. They can't know what's in the boxes, so I got to get at least something going.
They don't just intuit what's in the boxes?
Yeah, they don't just magically know, unfortunately. I'm taking advice though, so if you want to know some advice, go ahead and throw it in chat and I'll listen.
I thought The Expanse was a homebrew RPG. Well, I love RPGs and I do homebrew. In fact, it's been a few months since I've done a batch of beer. Love to homebrew.
Homebrew campaign for D&D, a campaign made up with your own rules.
Daniel has all of my old D&D stuff from the 1980s. All the original manuals, my original hand-painted lead pieces. And
I thought you were reading a comment for a second. And I was
no,
like,
no.
I didn't steal nobody's nothing. You can't prove it if I did.
Daniel, which is better, Anything or The Wheel of Time? Sorry, Shannara Chronicles or The Wheel of Time?
Wheel of Time. Yeah. Well, I haven't really read Shannara yet, so I can't speak too educatedly on that, but I'm going to go ahead and safely assume Wheel of Time.
But he's going to say Wheel of Time no matter what. The boy's got a problem.
The only one that makes me stop and think is Discworld.
I would say The Lord of the Rings. Can you get Dan, I don't know anyone named Dan, to read Deltora Quest? We wants it.
I don't know why I turned into Gollum at the end there, but I'll get to whatever it is eventually, I'm sure, before I die, because there's only so much fantasy and I read fast.
Somebody just mentioned Douglas Adams. Where was that Douglas Adams? Full
Douglas
display.
Adams.
Nothing else. What? Nothing else matter. Okay. Have you read any Latin America magical realism?
Nope, don't think so.
Don't even know that it exists.
Pops in my head.
Sounds
Every
cool.
subgenre exists at this point. Every concept has been made into something or other.
From every part of AD&D. Of course, it's AD&D stuff that Daniel ended up with. Would you rather drive on the highway to hell or climb the stairway to heaven? Well, I'm learning Stairway to Heaven on guitar, so let's go with that.
That's a good question and a good answer.
I can pick most of it.
There you go. There's a Edgar Allan Poe book. You got.
I collect guitars. How's that for a weird hobby? Well, I'm in Nashville.
Not a weird hobby. That's a cool hobby.
It is in Nashville.
It's definitely not weird in Nashville. It's like a national or statewide pastime.
What do you think is the best snack and drink combination for a reading and relaxing session?
I like tea when I drink because I'm basic. But I think a really good combination with tea is salty stuff because you're hydrating. So I usually go with good chips. I've been eating jalapeno chips like crazy recently, so I'll go ahead and say that.
My homebrew, a nice chocolate stout with maybe some smoked salmon on a mundane cracker like Triscuits or something like that.
I get my taste in beer 100% from this guy.
Did you start with the classic second edition of AD&D? I started, I think, with the first edition of AD&D and moved into Monster Manual 2 and all that sort of stuff, but started with, I think, the first edition of AD&D. That's Advanced Dungeons and Dragons, in case you're not aware. What are you, Mark? That's me, reading right now. I'm starting the third book of The Expanse, after which I'll do Murderbot, after which I'll go back to that other series that Daniel got me started on.
Discworld.
Thank you.
There you go.
Hey, Daniel and Father. I love the content so much. You're probably my favorite YouTuber.
Oh, thank you.
That isn't about reptiles.
Oh,
anyway,
fair enough.
I discovered I love Grimdark after Poppy War. So would Dresden's not dark.
No, Grimdark's not dark at all.
Dresden's just wonderful.
Yeah, that's super light. So you want something that's more grimdark? Well, the obvious thing.
Do Dresden.
The obvious thing's First Law, but I've recently gotten to Warhammer 40K. And
Do Dresden.
He's asking for grimdark, and you're telling him Dresden.
Dresden's awesome. Hello, Czech Republic. Hello, Shamey. How does Daniel keep you? Can you adopt me part-time? Also, can you recommend an underrated science fiction movie for me?
Okay.
Brazil. You never hear about the movie Brazil anymore. It was done by Terry Gilliam. It's got an amazing cast. Brazil will blow you away. It's the absurdist science fiction movie. Love it, love it, love it.
Someone asked for an underrated science fiction movie. He recommends a classic. I'd go Annihilation because that's a lot better than a lot of people say.
Well, today's people don't even know about Brazil, so it's totally underrated.
Okay, fine. What was the one you read before that? I didn't hear you.
Poppy War with Dresden be next or no?
Never mind. I got that.
Where'd Mary go? I just saw Mary. Where's Mary? There she is. Waiting for your review, but I need to know which is better, 90s, the Stand miniseries, or the recent one?
Oh, the recent one. The Stand miniseries was terrible. Sorry for anyone involved in that, but that was very bad. So I go with the Stand miniseries, no doubt.
And can you adopt me part-time? I'm adopted, so hey, I'm all about adoption.
Am I adopted?
No. They say we look alike, so maybe not.
Okay.
Here's aw. Cool Dad is
cool. Yeah, you're pretty cool.
All right.
I'd say you're Daniel approved.
For an old guy.
You're Goblin approved, Dad.
What's your favorite science fiction series outside of Star Trek, for God's sake? Laughing out loud.
For you or for me?
I guess both of us. What's your favorite sci-fi TV series?
Battlestar Galactica.
Ah, he stole it from me.
Yep. Oh, come on, you got to answer. You got to answer.
Twilight Zone.
Ooh, damn, that's a good answer. Ah, why didn't I think of that?
Or The Outer Limits, which was really dark, not like me at all. Someone said Firefly. That's not a bad choice.
You watched Firefly?
I did back in the day. That was a long time ago.
No, Firefly was like within the last 10 years.
Good day, Daniel and Father. Oh, Danielle and Father. Take a look at my fantasy ebook, short story, The Island of the Grotesque, on Amazon.
Sorry, I don't take requests that way.
Do you take them badly?
Just don't take them that way.
Oh, absolutely. Original Battlestar, yes. No, not the original Battlestar. The one with Edward J. Olmos and Katie Sackhoff. And
I was about to say, are you about to say the original show over the 2000s one? Because
no. That was fun. Starbuck was a guy, believe it or not.
Yeah, a lot of people don't even know that now.
Hi from France. Crossover question. In your opinion, which classic rock band would be Randall Thor's favorite? Got to be a little dark. Can't be something like the Beatles. Not the Monkees.
Aerosmith.
Oh, that's not. I wouldn't have called that classic, but I guess it is now. Okay.
People are calling Green Day classic rock. Dad, you want to feel old?
Wow. Adele, I've spent quite a bit of time in France, and my favorite time was at a place called Esclamont. It was a old chateau that's been converted into a conference place, and I spent a most wonderful 2 weeks in Esclamont in France. I bet no one's ever heard of that. Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy TV series, loved it.
There was a TV series? I know there was a movie. I didn't know there was a TV series.
I didn't either.
Interesting.
But it was only shown in the Czech Republic. Kidding. Really love the extensive talk about different book series. Unfortunately, I'm having a hard time to read anything. Any tips for starting to read and like to read more? Audible.
Yeah, Audible's a good way to go. But people are going to think I'm trying to plug my own book. I'm not. Novellas are a really good way to go because they're not as much a commitment. You can be like, oh, I'm just going to crank through this in a couple hours and bam. And that actually works really, really well, in my opinion.
If I start reading a book, I fall asleep, or because I'm an old guy. And I just love Audible. If I'm going to get on my car, if I'm going to walk my dog, if I'm going to do a long bike ride, Audible with transparent noise, so I hear the cars coming behind my bicycle. Audible's a great way to get into reading. I love my Audible books.
Yeah, he's a voracious Audible guy, and that's a good way to go.
Side note, am I allowed to send you a copy of Moo Book when it comes out? You helped me a lot with cleaning up my writing. Thanks so much.
No, not until the pandemic's over.
The reptile verse.
First. Sorry.
The reptile verse. Okay.
Gotta have the pandemic over. But then, yes.
We want the pandemic over. No. Oh, hello, Raleigh. I spent 5 years in Chapel Hill and then a lot of visiting since then. Thoughts on the Foundation series? Oh, the first 3 books are arguably the best science fiction series ever written. The books after that, I think Asimov was maybe just going for a paycheck a little bit. They weren't as good, but the first 3 Foundation books are fantastic.
I would say they are the greatest classic fantasy series of all time.
Firefly was 2020, Daniel. 2002, sorry.
Okay, yeah, okay, so that was a while ago.
I'm dyslexic.
I
Daniel.
didn't watch it till way after that.
Daniel, I loved your first book and look forward to many more in the years to come. Have you started on the second book yet? Please make it longer.
Draft 1 is done. Now I just need to basically figure out if I'm going to rewrite it all, because that's how my brain works. And it should be out by the end of the year, and it should be around 200 pages from the current draft.
Does that make it a novella plus? That's too big for a novella.
I think that's still technically a novella.
Okay.
But also, it's probably going to be cut way down, because my first book was around 180 pages when I first started it.
Just finished Small Gods. Wasn't that fun? What do you, Old Goblin, think you're going to read next? The next book in the Expanse. I don't know what to read next from Discworld. I need recommendations from you, Daniel, about how to...
You will like Guards the most.
The Discworld is not all available on Audible. That pisses me off so much. Yeah. You have to search around to find Discworld stuff. I hate it.
Yeah, it's not the best.
And how can it not be on Audible? Danny, I'm telling Brandon.
What?
Okay. I just work here. It says Danny, I'm telling Brandon. I don't know Danny, and Brandon Sanderson.
My name is Daniel, not Danny.
Daniel Boone was a man, yes, a big man, and he fought for America to make all Americans free. You're super proud of Daniel when he published Breach of. Oh my God! You can't imagine the
How
thought
disappointed he was. No.
the thought that my son wrote a book, much less wrote a book well, much less it's a book that I really like, genre-wise and content-wise. Wow.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Any reason why you don't put your books in alphabetical order by author?
Because then a lot of the best ones would be on the bottom shelf in terms of how they look, and I want them to be in camera because I'm shallow and I like the aesthetic. So that's why.
I'm on Masquerade of the Discworld series. I'm reading them in published order. Well, that'll take a decade or 3.
So, okay, how are you enjoying publication order? Because that's, I don't know, that's not something I've heard a lot of people recommend, so I'm not sure if I want to do it or not.
Hey, Smagby, are you still in Virginia? Yes.
Yeah, we're still in Virginia.
I'm leaving this afternoon to go back to my home in Nash Vegas, but yes. Pablo Goblin, did you watch Dark on Netflix? No, I haven't heard of it.
Ooh, you would like Dark a lot. That's a show I gave a 10 out of 10 to because I just thought it was absolutely fantastic.
I've just started watching The Expanse on Amazon Prime because I like the book so much, and I did not like the first episode of Expanse, but I'm going to give it another try because he says it's good.
I think it's great, but if you don't love it, I understand. He doesn't like dark stuff, and apparently the show is darker than he imagined the books.
I'm not prejudiced. I like people of all skin tones, but dark fiction I'm not crazy about. My copy of your book still needs to be imported to Germany because as Amazon screwed up. Daniel, what are you going to do about that?
I can't do anything about that. I'm sorry.
Well, there you go. What book got Goblin Dad into reading as a kid?
Ooh, good question.
If I Ran the Zoo by Dr. Seuss.
Oh, well, that's a very pure answer. I like that.
It's true. That's the first one I can remember. My mom probably read me other stuff before that. Matt Songer lives in Nashville too. Wonderful. And his name has got song in it, so of course he does. Hi, Matt. Look forward to running into you at a coffee shop someday. Good Spines, Bad Spines, reading Discworld. Ohio. What Ohio? I just saw something Ohio flash by. Oh, Ohio, Tennessee, North Carolina, or Virginia.
Well, I chose Virginia, so I guess Virginia.
And I lived here a long time, but I'd say Tennessee, then North Carolina. I also lived in Columbus and Youngstown and Cleveland, Ohio. Did my undergraduate work at Case Western Reserve University in Cleveland. I got my master's and doctorate at the University of North Carolina. Go Tar Heels. Woo-hoo-hoo.
I think what really holds back Virginia, in my opinion, is how bad DC traffic can make a lot of Nova.
Well, all of 95.
Yeah.
G'day. Again, sorry for my dyslexia in the last post. Hey.
You're amongst friends.
What are your top 20 houses in Westeros?
I cannot list off 20 houses in Westeros off the top of my head. I'm surprised there are even that many. But I will say the best is the Lannisters. They get a bad rep for a reason that they earned, but I love me some Lannisters.
Got into Sanderson because of you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
You're welcome, Oliver.
I'm glad I could be of assistance.
Oliver, never before. What did you read, Daniel, as a kid? I read to Daniel The Hobbit, all the Harry Potter books. We were that dad and son who was standing out in front of Barnes & Noble in the rain at midnight waiting for the next Harry Potter to come out.
Well, I also remember you downloaded an illegal early copy that leaked that turned out to be a fake, not real copy.
It's true. It's
that was
so
fun.
True. Yeah. So we got a bonus copy of Harry Potter, and we did The Lion, the Witch, and other accoutrements. I know.
Okay.
Yeah, so we read a lot of stuff like that.
Materials.
I really enjoyed rereading The Hobbit. The Lord of the Rings. To I think it was both of my sons.
Just didn't pick with Thomas enough.
Yep. What did you read, Daniel, as a kid? Okay. Order your books by height, Daniel, from shortest to tallest.
I'll do some reorganizing once they're all out.
Daniel, you got me to start reading Wheel of Time.
Did someone say Wheel of Time?
Okay, Frell, yes. Lannisters, FT for the win.
For the win, yeah.
What's Lannisters?
They're a house in Game of Thrones. He does not like Game of Thrones.
I've never read Game of Thrones. It seems too dark
let me
for
rephrase
me.
that. You would not like Game of Thrones.
Yeah, I'm sure.
There's far too much child murder in Game of Thrones for him to like it.
Martin Thomas, I'm so old that I used to work in bookshops during Harry Potter launches. It was hell.
I can imagine that was not a cheap cakewalk.
Thank you for selling our books to us. They were wonderful. Goblin Papa, what's your relation to Daniel Green? He's my number 2 son. Is there a Mark Green? Yes, he's my number one son, Mark Thomas Green.
If you keep calling him number one son, you're going to give me childhood
I've
trauma.
been doing it for 30 years. Live just south of Cleveland, Tennessee, but visit Nashville often. You should try the first Ring Shy trilogy, Last of the Ren Shy.
I think someone's recommending you a book I've never heard of.
They're fantastic. I don't know those. Badoom. Discworld. Reading Discworld in published order makes sense. Lots of details are built up. Character development happens through a long arc of time. Time is wobbly in Discworld, but it matters. Daniel's madly in love with Death from Discworld.
I'd marry him if I could.
Hi, just done with Wheel of Time. Need some fast-paced stories before starting with Stormlight Archive. Can you recommend good sci-fi?
Just go ahead and say it, Dad. I thought you were just going to scream out Dresden.
No, they said not to talk about Dresden today. I'm stifling old Dresden.
Okay, fair enough.
Dresden.
Fast-paced fantasy sci-fi. Kings of the Wild. Go Kings of the Wild.
That's awfully light. I loved it, but it's awfully light. Dresden is just wonderful in every way. That's enough Dresden.
He's the biggest Dresden fan on the planet. It's adorable.
Okay, I have to read this now, Daniel. Got into Dresden because of you, and now I've turned my dad onto it, and he has me reading Wheel of Time. Love that Papa Goblin read to you as a kid. Oh, yeah. Read till he would. But the frustrating thing, I'd be getting into a book, reading it to Daniel, and it was so wonderful, and I'm reading and reading. Oh, he fell asleep. When did he fall asleep? How many chapters do I have to go back? That was frustrating because you could never tell.
It has happened often.
Oh, happened every night. Not Daniel Green, Green Daniel. Okay.
It's an inside joke with the channel.
Okay. Are
we keeping up at all, or are they just?
No, we're up. We're up.
Okay, good. Glad.
We're all madly in love with Death from Discworld. Was in the 1984 and Asimov as a child. Gabriel Rodriguez, you are my man. I share your. Oh, and fitness. I'm finally getting back to the gym after a year of trying to work out at home. I'm fully vaccinated. Tim Meyer just mentioned Doc Savage. Woo, 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 woo. Somewhere Daniel has a complete set of Doc Savage paper books that he inherited.
They're just kissing your butt now, Dad.
Oh, I love Doc Savage. Oh my, how did you know I was such a Doc Savage fan?
They're just kissing butt.
Hey, you two, what would be your sci-fi recommendations for a beginner?
Sci-fi beginner? I think a good entry point is actually The Expanse if you like something big and you're used to epic fantasy. But if you want something a little smaller, then I'd go Murderbot or go a little more classic. And I think Stranger in a Strange Land is a good introduction. Anything by Asimov's not a bad bet. iRobot would be good. Sorry, go ahead.
I love Stranger in a Strange Land, but it is not representative of Heinlein at all.
Fair.
For a great introduction to classic science fiction, I would recommend an anthology called The Past Through Tomorrow. It's a series of short stories and a novella by Heinlein, and it's wonderful. The Past Through Tomorrow by Robert Heinlein. If anybody reads that because of me, I will have had a really, really good day because it's absolutely wonderful.
He's not wrong. That's a very, very good entry point.
What is this Dresden thing everyone is talking about?
The Dresden Files. A wizard with his pet or companion skull, not pet, solving crime.
I hate how underrated the Witches series are in Discworld. They are amazing.
Yeah, they are very, very good. What's the first one called? I can't even remember what it's called, but yes, you're right.
Either y'all read Stephen Baxter, Physics Doctorate. He partnered with both Pratchett and Arthur C. Clarke.
That's really interesting.
I never heard of Stephen Baxter.
Never heard of him. Yeah, so I don't know. Don't know. Can't say I'm aware.
I got into Daniel because of Sanderson. BOP is stars.
Breach of Peace is good. Happy Eyes.
Happy Eyes.
Thank you for saying that. Love you. You made my confidence higher for the day. Someone else take it down.
I love Dresden. Binge read in a week. That was a great week, Tari. I bet that was a wonderful time.
How did all of these? Did you do it?
You're off camera, Daniel.
Oh, here, hold on. You did all that in a week.
Yeah, he did. She did. Sorry, Tari.
Or Erickson. Where am I putting Erickson right now?
Okay, here we have. What etymology is behind your last name? Why Green and not Green? Green goes back and forth in spelling in Scotland and Ireland and England, and it's generation to generation. When I did my family tree, it has a generate. It has an E. It's random. Dark was amazing. Out of recent TV series, only Dark and Chernobyl get 10 of 10 from me.
Chernobyl. You haven't watched Chernobyl yet.
I need
That's
to.
Dark, but you'd love it.
Best television of the pandemic and beyond are Queen's Gambit.
Yes.
Wanda.
Yeah, I'd say that's up there.
And Ted Lasso.
Ted Lasso.
Which is not science fiction or fantasy. Ted Lasso is so Wonderful. Talk about feel good. I love me some
Okay,
Ted Lasso.
I will say Ted Lasso is fantasy in the sense that I have never think there's actually a person that wholesome who could actually exist.
And I can't believe Daniel watched a whole TV series about sports. He is the anti-sports crusader.
Of us here, who's watched the Tiger Woods documentary? So I'm kind of a sports expert, I'd say now.
Hey, Daniel, if you could ever make a good living from writing, would you be quitting the art of YouTube and its very direct expression / interaction?
No.
Inquiring minds want to know.
No. I will maybe cut down on how much YouTube I put out, but I will never stop making YouTube.
He just said never.
I will never stop making YouTube. I will die before I stop.
Already read the Dresden Files. Thumbs up. Yes. Hey, Dad, behind you. Is that a compendium of the Game of Thrones?
Where? Oh, no, this is a custom made one a subscriber of mine made that's absolutely gorgeous and beautiful, and I love it. So if they're watching, thank you.
He gets some of the coolest stuff from you guys.
Oh, all the coolest things I own are pretty much giving me my subscribers. It's amazing how they treat me.
Do I count as a subscriber?
Yeah, you're subscribed and giving me amazing stuff.
Okay. I gave him a denarius, which I thought was just so clever.
It is awesome. Yeah.
Where's the denarius, Daniel? Is it up here yet?
It's not up yet. I'm holding off on knickknacks.
Okay, knickknacks indeed. Live in Virginia, about 2 hours from Knoxville. Oh, you're at the Tri-Cities area around, Bristol, Kingsport, Johnson City. Pigeon Forge is incredibly tacky, you think? More Robin Hobb when?
More Robin Hobb before too long, because I really love, I don't want to get deeper into the Fitz journey, because he's such a neat character. But not very soon.
What is that ship on your bookshelf?
I don't know. I just saw it at a garage sale and I picked it up. It's the Sea Witch, which is apparently a real ship that has a pretty neat history I looked into. And I'm using it to actually inspire the book I'm going to write my main series about. Speaking
of great series, Master and Commander. Oh, my God. I loved those so much. The hard copy and the Audible. I did both. And wow, did I love this. Hey, Daniel, you're the best. I love The Magicians by Lev Grossman. Any recommendations like this book for a newer reader?
If you loved Magicians, there's a chance you'll really like other just team-based fantasy like that. So even though I didn't love it, the Shadow and Bone books might be up your alley. And then also in a similar vein, I actually think some of Stephen King stuff reads similar. So I would look into Stephen King and do some research there. Those are my recommendations for you, sir.
Und hier haben wir Hans Endlund. Just finished Calculating Stars because of your interview with Mary Robinette Kowal. Absolutely delightful.
Oh, she's absolutely brilliant. I can't wait to get more into her stuff on the channel. She's fantastic.
Hey, Daniel, did you ever find the name of that book with the mirror or portal? I don't remember which. On the cover, Eyeshield 21 is great sports manga.
No, I tried really, really hard and couldn't find it. So I'm still desperate. If someone knows what the heck I was talking about, let me know, because I don't, and it's killing me.
Dad, what's your PhD in? I'm starting mine in medieval history. Cool. Look how many people, mostly white nationalists, have misused medieval history.
Yeah.
I've got the world's weirdest educational pedigree. I studied electrical engineering as an undergrad. I got my master's in classical rhetoric, studying Aristotle's definitions of rhetoric and poetry, and then got my master's in my doctorate in market research. And from that went to work for Warner Communications doing market research for entertainment stuff.
He is, in fact, the weirdest educated person on the planet.
Have you read the Metro series? Really great horror novels.
Nope. Oh, but I played the games.
I haven't either. Have either of you watched the HBO Watchmen series? It was great. Also, Senior Green, have you read John Carter of Mars?
Now you guys really are just kissing butt. I watched the first couple. I watched the first couple episodes. Still need to finish it. I like what I saw.
I love John Carter so much. I read all the books. We read them again with my friend Luke in junior high school, and we then built an honest-to-God set for Jetton, the Martian game of chess, and we would play it while we were talking about the John Carter books. And I was so disappointed that the movie was fair to poor. It could have been a great series of movies following the whole John Carter series. And darn, yes, I have read John Carter of Mars.
You made me so nerdy. I no wonder where I got it from. Dear Lord.
I love John Carter. Have any of you, that's everybody, read anything by Jorge Luis Borges?
Nope.
He is an Argentinian author and one of the greatest of all time, in my opinion.
Ooh, high praise. No, I'm not.
That's from Pablo. And
Pablo.
Wow.
Okay.
Hamza just finished Lord of the Rings. Good on ya.
Good on you. Yeah. How'd you think of it? You got to tell us. You can't just tell us what you read. You got to give us a little mini review so we can actually respond to it.
As PhD club, computer science. All right, Harry, rock on.
Good job, Harry.
I was learning Algol and Fortran and BASIC and Assembler back in my days a million years ago.
Last book box.
Last book box? Seriously?
Last book box.
Boy, this went fast. I just missed. I thought. Sorry, everyone. I'm going up and down trying to find someone that flashed that I thought I needed to read. Why is Daniel moving?
Because I bought a house finally and I'm settling down.
Daniel is peripatetic. He can't stay in the same place long.
I'm staying here, hopefully.
Congratulations on raising a son who has the good taste to hate good kind as much as I do. From a Daniel watcher who's closer to Dad's age than Daniel's. Oh, you're older than dirt.
Don't be saying you're well aged.
Well aged, yeah. Yes. But I wouldn't drink a 70-year-old bottle of wine. Anyway. Did I see that? Ooh, starting my electrical engineering degree in September. Cool, Tari. Where? I did mine at Case Institute of Technology. Was merging with Western Reserve University back in the very late 60s. Either of you familiar with Tamsin Muir Gideon's The Ninth?
Yeah, I review him on the channel. He wouldn't necessarily like it, but I got some other people to read it and they all loved it. But I know my dad's taste. I don't think it would quite be up his alley.
He really does know my taste. When he recommends stuff to me, it's almost always spot on. Somebody I could post to Dan. Should I read it?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. Did any of your fans ever send you a translated book from other countries which you had never heard before?
Yep.
Cheers from Dan and Papa Green.
That's how I got into Indian-based fantasy, because I got a couple of those, but I'm still trying to really get into that. So keep sending them.
Was Poppy Wars one of those?
No, that was written in English.
Okay. Really?
Mm-hmm.
That surprised me. Okay. What's your favorite guitar?
Ooh, okay. Give him 45 minutes.
I've got a luthier in Nashville that makes custom guitars for me, and I love the ones that Chris makes. But I've got guitars that are worth more, but my Gretsch 6120, that's the Chet Atkins model of a Gretsch semi-hollow body, is my favorite now. I've got a 1965 Martin D28 that's pretty sweet, but I'd have to say my Gretsch 6120. Pardon me for that arcane digression there. All of you who aren't into guitars, as he said, I could talk about that all day.
And feel free to.
Nonfiction recommendations: Sea of Glory by Nathaniel Philbrick, incredible U.S. Navy history, exploring the expedition of 1838 to 1842, Smithsonian Institute. Was started by its exhibits it brought back. I didn't know that. That's very cool.
That is very cool.
What's your favorite guitar? We did that. Who was that? Eli Stalcup.
Now you got that in my head.
Trying to keep up here. What's your favorite? This is an easy one. Who's your favorite audible narrator, Daniel?
Michael Kramer or Kate Redding, but Stephen Pacey is a very close second.
The guy that is doing The Expanse is really good.
Yes, he is. I don't know his name, though. We looked it up the other night, but I already forgot.
Hey, Daniel.
Yeah.
You need to read this. These are people I've never heard of doing things.
Subreal never. Garth Nix. Yeah, I want to get to Garth Nix, but I haven't yet. Definitely want to get to him. He's brilliant, from what I've heard.
Garth Nix. Sounds like a curse in some bizarre elven language.
Yeah, it does.
Favorite narrators, Music Man.
Music Man, good movie.
Finished Eisenhard review coming up. Moraine or Matt in Wheel of Time?
Moraine.
Matt.
You are wrong, sir.
Guitar playing itself. Enjoy doing scales while listening to audio. That's a very cool idea because it's all muscle memory. You don't have to think at all to do your scales.
The more you do your scales, the better you get. I am missing books if this is the last box, so I definitely have one out there somewhere.
Well, there are books. There are boxes down, at least a couple boxes still on the main floor.
I don't think so. Okay. What do we got? Keep just grabbing any random chat. It's fine.
Did Papa Green ever read any young adult books?
Oh, yeah. You read Redwall, didn't you?
Mm.
Okay, you read Chronicles of Narnia. You read His Dark Materials.
You can almost say John Carter and Doc Savage were young adult.
Almost.
Yeah.
You also read The Inheritance, or at least the first Aragon book, didn't you?
Aragon.
By Christopher Paolini.
Boy, that sure sounds familiar. My dad's got Takamine lawsuit era.
I don't know what any of that just meant. Sorry.
Hello from Italy. Ooh, I could use a nice Italian breakfast right now. Thanks to you, this year I read Wheel of Time, Kings of the Wild, Lies of Locke Lamora, Stormlight Archive, and of course, Breach of Peace.
Thank you.
By the way, I'm working on a Khalid portrait.
Khalid portrait. Awesome.
Khalid.
Yeah, Khalid. That's amazing. Please send it to me on Twitter when I can get it done.
Either of where were we? Either of you read the Silo trilogy by Hugh Howry? He's done with that story, but lets people write fanfic, and if he likes it, makes it canon.
Oh, no, I have not. That's an interesting thing to do as an author, though.
Stephen Rocket, you're chiming in a lot. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Stephen Rocket. I love you and your name.
Favorite side character from Dresden? Ooh, there's so many wonderful side characters in Dresden.
Mouse.
Mouse is totally awesome. That's hard to beat. The Island might be one of my very favorite side characters.
Ooh, good answer. I like that.
The Island is awesome. Yeah.
I have a rant about the last book that I can't do because spoilers. But
don't mess with the Island. Mouse is. Yeah. A great character is Murph. I'll always remember that character when I
don't spoil.
When I move on to other things, I will always remember Murph. Okay. Either of you ever read Shadow of the Wind by Carlos Ruiz Zafón?
I've not. We're getting Amber Alerts.
Public safety alert.
We might die.
Stop it. Stop it. Stop it.
Yeah, all the phones are going haywire here.
Okay. Sorry about that. That was crazy. Hello, Daniel. Are your Song of Ice and Fire books leatherbound or just hardbacks?
These are hardbacks from Juniper Books. They make these really tough covers that are meant to be able to take a beating. So that's what those are.
Have you read the Davabad trilogy? City of Brass, Kingdom of Copper?
You mentioned.
Oh.
Kingdom of Copper is really high on my TBR.
Love, 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 love this. I thought I only had it as paperback. Apparently I have it as paperback and hardback. Great classic science fiction.
You gave them to me. It is mine now.
God, I love that. Yeah, he's inheriting a lot more books. He's got my whole library coming someday.
Don't make that too quick, please.
Aw.
That's still more electrical work to get done.
Thoughts on the literature role-playing game genre? It feels like a new thing. I blinked, and it's everywhere on the audiobook platform.
Yeah, Lit RPG is blowing up, and a lot of people love it. A friend of mine just ranted to me a couple months ago about why it's great, and I need to give another try, so I might. But as of right now, I think it's fine, and it's not necessarily for me.
I tried to get Daniel to read all of the literature upon which Dungeons & Dragons was based. So Lord of the Rings was not a problem. He got a little bit into the Fafhrd and the Grey Mouser series, which I think is wonderful by Fritz Leiber.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's wonderful to read all the origin stuff for D&D.
Fafhrd and the Grey Mouser is absolutely brilliant.
Yeah. That's where the thief character came from. Just finished Wheel of Time, Dreslin and Mazzalan and SA. What's SA?
Stormlight Archive.
Oh. Now I have fallen into a black hole. Oh my goodness, you can't get out of a black hole.
How did you get a message out of a black hole?
And there's spaghettification that happens when you fall into a black hole. Believe it or not, that's a real world in astrophysics, spaghettification.
That's really?
It is.
That's brilliant. I love that.
Somebody look up spaghettification and post to Daniel that it's real. Any recommendations for what I can read to get out of this hole?
Okay, you just did a lot of great epic fantasy that kind of fits a similar vibe. So I would either go Robin Hobb or John Gwynne.
Okay, there you go. And boy, getting out of that, you get spaghettified going in. I wonder if you get unspaghettified coming out of a black hole.
You just want to say that word as much.
Spaghettification. Your model ship is stunningly beautiful, Daniel.
Thank you.
Oh, there's the complete John Carter of Mars in my son's hands. Yes.
Oh, and Jurassic Park mentioned earlier.
Any house projects planned?
Yes. We got a lot of them done, though, because my dad is probably the most handy person I've ever met. So we did a lot of that already. But yes, there is more planned to be done as well.
To be done. Have either of you read Reagan O'Neill's books?
Yes. That's Robert Jordan's name before he was.
What he says right here. It says,
so I'm sorry, you can't say Robert Jordan facts without me clarifying it's Robert Jordan.
It's a pseudonym.
I read one of them, and it's rough. It's not nearly as good as Wheel of Time. He clearly improved aggressively as he started Wheel of Time.
Senior Green or Senior Green. What were your initial thoughts when Daniel told you he was going YouTube full time? Also, thanks, Daniel, for everything you do. Greetings from Deutschland.
Oh, you need to be as honest as you. I remember you were saying you were real hesitant.
Correct me on any of this, Daniel. I told both of my sons that, oh, we have a spaghettification definition, that they should use their 20s to try stuff. Try towns, try careers, try education, try relationships, and don't turn 40 wishing you'd done a bunch of stuff back when you were younger and had the chance. And the fact that Daniel changed careers and at some point decided that he could move away from coding and do this full time in his 20s, I thought it was a great idea. Was I nervous? Yeah, but he's always got me as a backstop. So I thought it was a good idea because the 20s are to try stuff, right, Daniel?
Yep.
That's what I said.
Yep, that's all true. I also remember a couple times you very specifically said, keep coding, though, just as a backup. Just code in your spare time.
Yeah, exactly.
Because, coding's a difficult career to get out of. It's a very, very good career.
Hey, Daniel, who's your favorite Mazalon character?
Right now, Quick Ben. I love Quick Ben. It's badass.
Can they see this that I have posted on the screen right now?
Yeah.
Okay. So there's spaghettification. Thank you, Ethan. You totally rock. It really is a word.
I'm missing books.
He's missing books.
I'm missing books.
Anytime he's away from home, he misses books so much.
Okay. The king of Cordy is still here, everybody.
It's a dad joke.
I love it.
Why did this motivate me more than my high school counselors ever did? Motivate you to do what? Quick thank you. Your review made me buy the Discworld Death Bundle, which made me realize I want to own more Pretty Book. So now I got a beautiful Lord of the Rings set, which made me rearrange my bookshelves today.
Fantastic.
Go, Barbara.
Awesome. Love
Barbara,
it.
you have an interesting image there, Barbara.
That is an interesting image.
Hey, Daniel, any plans for 420 tomorrow?
Get high.
Well, there you go. Oh, there's an interesting post, Daniel.
What's that? Green. Wait, did we have green posted wrong somewhere? I don't know. I have a question for you, Dad. Heinlein or Asimov?
Heinlein or Asimov? Ooh. Gosh, you or Thomas, which of my sons do I pick?
I didn't ask for that.
Heinlein was more varied, so I'd go with that. Me Green, you were in the generation of young man that read them, so did you read John Norman Gore's books? I don't think I've ever heard of John Norman Gore. I'm sorry, J. Lord. And that's my, wow. That's my
How could you? You failed.
Wow.
All right.
Another spaghettification. Thanks, Tony. Great advice to your kids. Trying to get my daughter to find a path to start. She has 1 year of high school left and is having trouble finding focus. Oh my God, a high school girl. Jana, good luck. Woo! Thank goodness I had boys. And so many friends with high school girls, and wow. Hey, Daniel, we have a Pips post.
What's the pitch? The Pips! I don't know where he is. There's a lot of noise going on. He's still a bit nervous to move, so he might be just hiding.
Dad jokes are rad jokes, baby.
Okay. You guys are just encouraging him, and it's very bothersome.
Just finished the second Murderbot novella yesterday. Can't wait to get home and read the Absolutely. They're short, they're wonderful, and I can't wait for the one that Daniel's got hidden here.
It's not okay. Give me 1 second.
Can we trade dads unless Papa Green takes apps? I download apps. Where's Pips? Pips has been around, and Pips let me pet him today, which was very cool. If you could, God, Dad, there's a couple of really good ones, Daniel.
Yep. Take this home with you.
Okay. Please switch Way of Kings and Word of Radiance paperback so they're in order. It hurts.
What? Way of Kings, Words of Radiance. This is Rhythm of War. This is Way of Kings, Rhythm of War. Oh, they're right here. Gosh, yeah, I'm so sorry. Yeah, I was looking, my bad. You're absolutely right. Should never doubt my subscribers.
Daniel, if I find the Japanese versions of Wheel of Time, which book would you want the most?
All of them.
All of them.
No, I can't say that. I would probably want, Eye of the World the most. I'd want Eye of the World the most for sure.
Hi there. Thank you for getting me back into reading. Ever read the Empire Trilogy by Raymond E. Feist?
I read the first book. Did you read Feist, haven't you?
I don't think I've ever heard of him.
Wow. I thought he's not your era, but I don't know. I figured he'd be someone you got. But
Have you read any Peter F. Hamilton? Good sci-fi with a twist stuff. Any thoughts on the web serials?
Never. You?
Nope.
We have C.S. Lewis here in talk about it. Do you know this book?
Another one of my Perlendia. No, Perlendra.
Perlendra.
I don't remember this, but I read it in high school because it's obviously worn.
Okay, audience. Now I need you to help me rearrange stuff and decide how to put things. I'm thinking sci-fi over here, and then we migrate into fantasy, and then it'll be primo, super duper covers over here, as well as Dresden and a couple others. That's the general plan. So if you have a differing opinion, scream it at me, and my dad will relay it the best he can.
Do we have the Denarius yet?
Yeah, it's right here. Prominently displayed up top. Show it off.
When I was reading Dresden, this is not a spoiler, there is a part in it by a Roman coin called a denarius, and I just thought Daniel was so kind to me to get me turned on to Dresden. So I managed to go to a coin collector and find a coin from an early Roman emperor. So that's a real denarius, just like the one in the book from about 2,500 years ago. I just thought that was cool.
And that specific one was found by Hadrian's Wall, which just adds a bunch of flavor to it.
If you could live in one fantasy world, which would you choose and why?
Avatar: The Last Airbender, because it's one of the few that's not absolutely miserable to live in. I would be terrified of being killed by magical beings and creatures if I was in like 90% of them. Like, I love Wheel of Time's world, but Trollocs and Murdral, no thank you.
I think I'd go Lord of the Rings and I'd live with the elves.
That's very good. That's very good. Well, would they accept you is the problem.
Ken Burns' new documentary about Hemingway is a must-watch. Everything by Ken Burns is a must-watch. His series on country music, wow. Fabulous, fabulous, fabulous. Has Dad read Jed City? No, but Daniel certainly has praised it highly, highly, highly.
It's one of the few I give perfect 10s out of 10s to.
Wait, did I just see the word bicycle?
Oh, God, you guys are just bringing up all the dad topics here. I love it.
We'll go past that. Okay. What's it like to have two sons who you can share your passion with? My two sons have the most different passions of any two people you could imagine. One is totally into sports. The other couldn't tell you whether NFL football is in season right now. One reads everything fantasy science fiction. The other reads not just.
But Thomas reads a lot of sports stuff.
Yeah, but I have way wide interests. So we talk about different things and love it, love it.
Yeah, well, we're both very opposite reflections of different parts of you.
Exactly. Yeah. For better or for worse.
Stormfront, then Full Moon for Dresden. Is it Stormfront then Full Moon?
Stormfront was before.
Yes. Yeah.
I read Jack Vance. Don't know if my granddad did in those days. Our customs officers looked for books, not drugs. That's how tight censorship was before the 70s. Wow.
That's hilarious.
Yeah. Wow.
Where's my phone?
Did they then read them when they confiscated them? Man, I miss my dad. R.I.P. Yeah. Has Dad Green read Mistborn yet? No.
No, get it. Help me get it. Sanderson is lighthearted, right up your alley.
My TBR is so long.
He finished Wheel of Time and you loved the ending of Wheel of Time.
Put Wheel of Time on the bottom and Fifth Sorceress and Ready Player 2 up front.
No.
Ready Player 2. Wow, you don't say that often around here.
I should have gone haha, but my honest God reaction to that was just no.
Hercule Poirot or Sherlock Holmes?
Sherlock Holmes.
By far. Oh my God, are you kidding?
Yeah. And this are
nothing against Poirot, but Sherlock Holmes is some of the greatest literature ever written and arguably the best short stories ever written.
Yeah. It's Stormfront, then Full Moon. So I was right.
Did I read any Sherlock Holmes to you?
Yeah, you read it to me when I was very young, and then I watched the sci-fi cartoon animated show. That got me really, really into it. And then just kind of been a love ever since. And
Daniel loves the most recent television adaptation, which I thought started strong and then petered out. But I love the BBC adaptation with Jeremy Brett, which I think is by far the best Sherlock Holmes adaptation ever done. So true to the stories.
What do you think of the Robert Downey Jr. movies? I don't think I've asked you about those.
They're kind of entertaining, not great.
Fair enough.
Have you read Pillars of the Earth?
Yes, loved it.
And the sequel. Which was World Something. Yes, love Ken Follett historical fiction.
Oh.
What's the sequel to Pillars of the Earth?
World Without End.
Thank you.
Doubt me.
Yes, we read them both, and we both read them both. I think I turned Daniel on to those.
Yep. And then I gave a copy you gave me. I lent to a friend who never gave it back.
No longer a friend. Steal a book, not a friend.
Yeah, pretty much. I had a date once take one of my copies of Eye of the World, and I didn't want to go on a second date, but I was like, I'm really tempted to just to get that book back.
When I was in high school, my friend Tom Burns borrowed the GH edition of my encyclopedias, and now my classic encyclopedias from the 1960s sit on a bookshelf in my library with GH missing. I'll never forgive him.
You are
and it's
such
been
a
50 years.
You're such a nerd. You lent someone an encyclopedia.
Well, back then, that was like lending someone Wikipedia, kind of.
I guess, yeah, sure. Deadbeat, then proven guilty.
I can follow it. Okay. Started Mazzolando to you.
Good.
And Mike of book review fame. Now just finished MOL. Now need someone to hold me.
Finished Memory of Light. Yeah, post-book depression with Memory of Light is strong. There's no doubt there.
Quick Bin is the best. Favorite Dresden book. Oh, we differ on that.
Oh, we differ on that a lot. I think Changes is the best by far.
Yes, I've read Daniel's book. Are you kidding? I read it in how many drafts? The first Dresden books, I think, are the best. I love that the character evolves, but it started so simply and wonderfully, and I could have kept it that way without the growth of the universe that happened. I just love the initial Dresden books. I think they're beautiful.
I agree. I really like the old detective formula. I just think the character evolves and changes so well, and I really enjoy that too.
Can't argue with that. Have any of you watched Your Name? Have you watched Daniel Green? I have not watched Mark Green. So
no, I've not watched Your Name yet, but I want to.
Yo, is this his dad?
Yes, it is my dad. Hi, Father.
Good morning. Any of you seen The Irregulars on Netflix? Would you rather see an HBO Dresden Files show or an HBO Murderbot show?
HBO Dresden Files. Murderbot, I would actually rather see done in more of a campy sci-fi TV series way, like the original, or like the new Battlestar Galactica.
And there's way more of Dresden. It could go on for seasons. Yes. Seasons of Dresden.
Yeah,
yes,
Murderbot,
yes.
You could do like 2 seasons of TV with what's out now. I think.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Oh, R.D. Weidman. Yes. How does Dad feel about the new UNC coach, Hubert Davis? Love me some Hubert. Love the fact that he has got an amazing bench now of all former Carolina players. He's no Dean, he's no Roy, but I think Hubert will do well. We lost our transfer, Kessler, but we've picked up a couple of good ones. I think it's going to be an interesting first season. I love me some Hubert. He is a great guy. Pardon for that digression, everyone, but you asked me a question about Carolina basketball, and there you go. Suggestion for someone who loved Mistborn World.
Mistborn Era 2. But if you like the world of Mistborn, one that I find very similar to that in tone would be Lies of Locke Lamora.
Tyzophine, love you. Love you a lot. Hitty diddly.
Is Ned Flanders in here suddenly?
We're talking about Jeremy Brett.
Oh, okay.
Who, if you've ever seen the movie My Fair Lady, he's the guy that serenades her when he was like 20 years old and had a great singing voice, believe it or not. That was Jeremy Brett.
I like that you just told me and your audience are having a conversation.
Yeah.
back off.
Was Mr. Green the man who got Daniel into books? Well, no other man did, but his mom certainly did stuff too along those lines.
I would still give you the credit, especially fantasy.
There already was a Dresden TV show. It only lasted 1 season.
We don't talk about it.
Yeah, it sucked. Brr.
It didn't. It was just bad writing. It just needed better writing and better effects. Okay. What do you think that does? Is that a decent Dresden shelf?
There's the okay up there. We got Bob. Poised on channel 37 AMOL as a terrific and terrified to start help.
What?
Read this.
Oh, you're about to start the last battle of Memory of Light. You got to do it. And it's long, so you're not going to just get it over with. It's going to be an experience in itself.
It's basically a book.
It's longer than Sorcerer's Stone.
Yeah, that's a
the
big
Philosopher's Stone.
Here. I love that you are wearing my 2 favorite Sam State shirts.
Oh, Ohio and North Carolina.
Rockette reads.
Did you? I like that we're both wearing different state shirts here, but we both lived in. No, I haven't lived in North Carolina, but I've been there a lot.
Yeah, when he was growing up, he was taken to Chapel Hill for basketball games and business meetings and all kinds of stuff.
And summers and all kinds.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
We spent so much time camping in the Great Smoky Mountains every summer for at least 10 years of Daniel's life. We were boat camping and backpacking in the Great Smoky Mountains National Park.
We could talk about Fontana endlessly.
Oh, yeah, don't get me started on that. If you could only read Lovecraft, Poe, or King, who would you pick?
King.
There you go.
Bigger bibliography, so I wouldn't be as limited because, you know, King just prints books like it's his job or something.
I'm a completist. When I start something, I have to complete it. I'm driven. I'm going to ride bikes. I ride Century. I'm going to run. I do marathons. If I'm going to get an education, I get a PhD. So I'd pick Poe because I could finish Poe.
You could finish Lovecraft.
We need Mr. Green, that's Dr. Green, to host Fantasy News one day.
You've been a part of Fantasy News before.
Maybe Sci-Fi News. I don't know. Maybe we'll do a channel. Who knows?
You need to do a channel.
Do a channel about smart home technologies, if anything.
Yeah, you would do good at that.
Hello, Ellie. H. Beam Piper, Little Fuzzy, the oldest sci-fi I've read. Elements of courtroom drama, questions if new species counts as sentient.
I've never heard of it. You?
No, oldest sci-fi I've read is probably
Frankenstein.
Dracula.
No, oh, that's not. Okay, we can debate that.
Is that fantasy or sci-fi or Jules Verne stuff? Anyway, have you read The Rivers of London? Have you read The Rivers of London series? But that's mixing my. Anyway, Ben Aronovich.
I don't know.
Doesn't know if he's read it or not.
Sounds familiar, but I can't place it.
Yes, he did. I usually like most of your fans. I'm not even going to put this up, but I do not like fat white guy.
What? Someone? Oh, sorry. So Mr. Green's a Duke fan. I see. Oh, I thought someone was calling you fat white guy.
Well, there's that too, but I'd rather be called that than Duke fan.
Oh, that's funny.
And that's lowercase D-O-O. Duke.
Gotcha. I thought I was getting really offended and start yelling at somebody.
Never thought I was going to gag on your channel. More sketches, please. Magic is outdated too. Made my day.
Oh, good. I'm glad. And there will be more sketches for sure. Those usually do well for me. And apparently I made Evan Winter happy with my lace sketch. So I just kind of picked a book and was like, all right, this one.
Hey, if you guys played Unmatched Battle of Legends, hey, it's a great lighthearted board game for 2 players, and you can play as Sherlock Holmes. You can play as Sherlock Holmes? Oh, wow.
I don't know if I could live up to Sherlock Holmes, but cool.
Yeah, that's very cool. Could I be Moriarty? Hey, Daniel, where is that beautiful purple leather-bound Brandon Sanderson? I wanted to see it next to Wheel of Time.
It's right here. It's in the Sanderson shelf, which I'm actually going to move over so that it's right next to Wheel of Time, so you're good to go.
And be prettier over there.
Yeah.
Because it's so pretty.
It is very, 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 very pretty.
So Green Senior, yes?
Yes, this is Green Senior.
Hey, Daniel, is Gandalf's staff taller than you? Oh, yeah.
I think this is like 6.5 feet, and I'm right on below 6 feet, so my hair's poofy. Put that down, and yeah, it's a little bit taller than me.
Mr. Green, that must be you. Have you read Jade City?
No, he's not, but I want him to.
Did Daniel move? Yes, that's what this is all about. Oh my God, Madison Baldwin, I have no use for you whatsoever.
What did they do? What?
These scumbags keep spamming your channel.
Oh, for Duke? If you're bringing up Duke, you're actually going to stress him out.
Favorite sci-fi book series?
Maybe The Expanse. What about you?
Right now, I'd have to say the first 3 Asimov trilogy Foundation books.
Good answer. Good answer.
How much money do you spend on books?
Not as much as you'd think, because a lot of them are sent to me for free, but still a lot. What about you?
How much have I spent? God, probably over the 70 years I've been around, many thousands of dollars. Mr. Green, as jet-setting man of the globe, reporting in live on location from his travels with what is he reading? Make It So. Oh, yeah.
I'm confused by that.
I'm a jet-setting man of the globe. I'm reporting live on location at Daniel's new home from his travels and talking about what I'm reading. Make It So.
Gotcha. Okay.
I'm not a huge Next Generation fan, but otherwise I really like that whole post.
You and your Shatner.
I love me some Shatner. Interesting that has the word shat in it. Your thoughts on Vonnegut? I could Kurt me some Vonnegut. Yeah, I like Kurt Vonnegut. Good stuff. Not at the very top of my list, but I like Vonnegut. That was back in the day stuff. Wow. Mr. Green, favorite scotch. I'll send a bottle if Danny starts doing bomb unboxing videos again. Dr. Green, thanks, Tony. I'm not a big scotch fan, and a lot of whiskey takes like turpentine to me, especially that Jack Daniel's stuff, which is brewed right down the road from where I live. I'm more of a
offended so many people.
I know. I drink some liqueurs, but I'm more of a beer, especially my own homebrew and wine guy than hard liquors. I like a Moscow Mule. Love me a Moscow Mule.
I'm willing to be brutally honest and tell him if it was bad. His homebrew is really good.
And he doesn't drink beer hardly ever.
I do drink dark beer. That's my preferred.
And that's mainly what I make, are porters and bocks and stouts and that sort of stuff.
IPAs are ruining bars for me because like half of every menu now is just IPAs, and I can't stand it.
IPA shouldn't exist.
That was being too strongly opinionated. Okay.
The British couldn't get their beer to India without it spoiling, so they added more hops and more alcohol just so it could make the trip to India without spoiling, and that's why India Pale Ale exists. It's over alcohol, and it's usually brutally hopped. I like hoppy beer, but it's not usually done well in IPAs, so IPA should not exist.
Tell them what you really think.
I didn't know you were a guitar guy. My favorite of mine is a Jackson USA King V with an original Floyd Rose. Cool. Metalhead, though. I hate country music. Well, I don't like current bro country, but I love classic country. And, okay, which of my guitars would you probably like the most? I have a Gibson L5 that you'd probably appreciate. And, of course, my Les Paul Custom and Tellys and Strats, rock and roll guitars.
He likes guitars.
I love collecting guitars. Jack Daniels is not, I know it's not scotch, but it's whiskey. And I was making a general comment about whiskey. Sorry, Daniel. Tony, rather. Oktoberfest is beer's best. When I was in Munich at Oktoberfest, it struck me how much it was like an American county fair. You would just stumble from tent to tent and have some more Spaten and drink some more beer until you couldn't walk anymore. But yeah.
Drink till you can't walk anymore. My father.
Yeah, that wasn't me, but I had just run the Berlin Marathon the day before, honest to God, and that was a hard day. Does Daniel know that George R.R. Martin wrote the upcoming video game Elden Ring from the makers of the Dark Souls?
I did know that.
Well, there you go. Bro country is the best. Yeah, I don't care for that stuff. Give me some Johnny Cash any day. Love me some Johnny Cash, classic country. I don't even know what sports game Duke comes from. Yeah, Duke just generally sucks. That's all you need to know. I'm not opinionated at all.
He's stating facts is what he's saying.
Yes, IPA is the International Phonetic Alphabet. Thanks, Rodrigo. You're so right.
What?
He was correcting another abbreviated IPA.
Oh, okay.
IPA is one of those many TLAs that are all over the place. You may not get this, but TLA is an example of a three-letter acronym.
Oh, okay.
IPA should not exist. Nasty things. Never had a decent one. What type of beer do you prefer?
I like that you sounded a little bit like Gollum there. Nasty things, nasty things. I'm a lager and stout guy.
Yeah, pretty much me too. Me too. When is Please Dear God Don't Be a Bomb coming back?
As soon as the pandemic's over.
Now that we're on beer, have either of you had a Dutch or Belgian beer? You want to go first?
You right ahead. You take it.
I love, whenever I'm in the Netherlands, I always have the Lambics. The Lambics are a wonderful beer that can really only be brewed there because the yeast, they lay the beer out in troughs and the yeast is just whatever settles from the air. And it's magic. It's wonderful. It can't be done anywhere else. And Belgian Lambics, oh my God, from the Netherlands, oh my God, great, great stuff.
Endorsement from my dad. It's magic.
It's magic. I would love to be able to do Lambics, but I can't. But I'm glad someone can. Getting my PhD in polymer engineering at the University of Akron. One of my roommates was a polymer engineer, and boy, did he make a lot of money doing great stuff.
Hey, you want to be friends? Can I borrow money?
Can I call you Dr. Goblin? You can call me.
I like that. That's cool.
Just don't call me late for dinner. Any plans on reading, reviewing Iron God, Gold, and Dark Age from Red Rising series?
Yes, those are very high on my TBR because how much I love them.
Are you a fan of the Planet of the Apes franchise?
Yeah. What about you?
I like the first movie, kinda, and none of the ones since.
Okay, that's fair.
Dr. Green, what are your pronouns? Doctor?
He's he, him. He's not up to date in the latest social
No,
things.
I understand.
Okay.
Or you can call me it. I'm pretty easy. Any
You
plans
can call him it. Okay, sorry. That's my
Dr.
dad
Green,
joke.
can you get Daniel to share a sneak peek from book 2 of his novella?
Patreons will be getting the prologue unedited, posted probably within the next couple weeks.
It's dark.
Yeah. But did you read it already?
No, you just told
Oh,
me
yeah.
that it's darker than the first one. Oh my God.
I sent it to 2 people, and the response I got were Jesus Christ and tone it down. So I'm not going to.
Who is this Duke of which you speak? Thank you. Yes. To be forgotten.
Apparently, my channel's turning into anti-Duke propaganda.
Can I call you Dr. Goblin? Sure. Getting my PhD. Oh, I'm back to polymer science. Oh. Favorite weird books, fantasy or sci-fi?
Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
Already a disc. Oh, that's a good call, Daniel.
I only make those.
Favorite weird books. Well, I'm here with Daniel, so I'll just say Captain Underpants.
Those were really great. Love the Captain Underpants. All right.
Get you a bottle of Jackie O's Bourbon Barrel Dark Apparition. IPAs are terrible.
Thank you.
Okay, Dark Apparition. Thanks, Stephen Rocket. And I like getting barrels, period. I make stuff out of whiskey barrels.
I would say the best alcohol I have ever consumed is if I had to pick just one, because people keep bringing up best alcohol, I really, really love Vienna Lager. Great beer here in Virginia that's local, and a lot of people like it. I'll drink that, sip it all day.
Dominion Brewery makes a good lager from up there in Northern Virginia where you grew up.
Oh.
My favorite alcohol would be a nice Northern Italian red, a Barbaresco or Barolo, big,
Wine people.
full body. Oh, yes. Anyway, are the Greens fans of the works of Dan Simmons, Hyperion, Ilium?
I can't even remember. Sorry, I'm a little distracted.
Lambic is not Netherlands, it's Belgium. I know it's a Belgian Lambic, but don't they make them in parts of the Netherlands as well? I thought they did.
Ooh, were you wrong? Did you get corrected?
Probably, but I love Belgian Lambics. They're always called Belgian Lambics. If you could teach a class about a book or author, what would you pick? Ooh,
I would do How to Write Absurdism Right, and I'd use Discworld.
very good.
What about you?
Avocado Tart. I love that name. If you teach a book about a, it would, who would you teach?
Yeah, that's tricky. Or I do Wheel of Time and proper world building.
I would teach about classic science fiction and how you take a science premise and then expand that into a book and don't worry so much about plot and world building and characters. It's about what would science do to civilization if this fictional thing happened.
Can you tell you're the classics fan?
What can I say? And since it says a specific book or author, I guess I would take Heinlein probably for that.
Not Asimov? I feel like that's textbook Asimov.
As Asimov, it is, but there's many more science ideas to be played with in Heinlein than there are with Asimov.
Fair.
Are you a John Denver fan? Yes, I like John Denver music, and I've
That's
tried.
Sweet Home. Well, West Virginia. Yeah.
Take me home, country roads. You should try Black Sheep Brewery and Theakston's beer. They do bitter and darker beers. It's a proper beer from the great Yorkshire, the home county.
Sounded like you're about to say a very different word. Okay, cool. Thank you for the recommendation.
And I like Yorkshire.
Oh, Terry Pratchett. Where's this go?
Oh, don't throw it away. It's Terry Pratchett. We have some Dutch people in the chat.
Convince him to read Mistborn or Stormlight Archive.
Oh, wow. Tell Papa Green I would kill for him. Okay, well, going back to that previous post, Mike Krzyzewski, you have your mandate.
I don't even know what you're doing, but I know it's not good.
I just told somebody to go commit murder on my behalf.
That's not something I expected to happen this live stream, but okay. You guys are pushing my father to murder, and it's barely been an hour.
Thank you, dude. We report in on me on that. Daniel, what have you done?
Apparently got my father to commit crime.
Dutchies, woo. Yes, Dutchie here. Daniel, what have you done? Belgian here. Dutchies, woo. Dutchie who doesn't like alcohol. Ha, ha, ha. Dutchie. Wow, there's a whole bunch of, wow.
No alcohol, people?
No, of friends from the Netherlands.
I have a weird amount of like if I look at my analytics, neither ones
Yes.
are up there. What are you going? What's the response? Have you read? Yeah, he's read it 1.5 times, which is super commendable. And he enjoyed it more in the second, from what he told me.
Dr. Daniel, do you like Doctor Who? I prefer Doctor What, but okay.
Yeah, I like a few seasons of Doctor Who, but I haven't really delved deep enough into it to speak on the matter beyond that.
I'm also Belgian. My God, are you really all of you from the Netherlands and Belgium?
A
Wow.
lot of them probably are. Some of them are probably lying.
I haven't been all over Belgium, but I love Antwerp. What a beautiful, beautiful city. Love that a lot.
And it's a little twerpy.
Ever tried growing a beard? You would look fantastic in
Are they talking to you or me?
me.
Oh, he's had a goatee.
Forever. Does Daniel eat his greens?
I remember this is a true story. There was a time I came downstairs and I just looked at my dad like something was weird and different. And I was like, I'd stared at him for a while and he kept talking. And after like 20 minutes, I finally was like, what happened? And he's like, I shaved. And it was like the first time in my life I had seen my father without a goatee. And it freaked me out. I was like 12. I don't know. It was just weird.
By last July, I was about 3 or 4 months into a pandemic beard, and it was kind of scruffy, but it was kind of fun.
Him and I grow similar facial hair, very scruffy.
Yeah.
Do you want to talk about an interesting Asimov book?
Did you have fun making Daniel Green? Don't remember the day. So, wow. Did I ever try growing a beard? Okay. I have a 3-year-old son. I want to love science fiction reading. You and Daniel have such a great relationship with reading. How do I read to him? Read to him starting now, if you haven't already, and read him fantasy-ish kind of fun stuff, and do it in lots of different voices. That's one thing that I loved doing, was trying to keep straight all the different voices I was using when I was reading to Daniel when he was a kid.
His Hagrid voice was my favorite.
That was hard.
His Hagrid voice was very, very Loyal-esque from Wheel of Time.
There you go. Dr. Goblin is a crime boss now. Yeah, true dat. Speaking of Belgium, did you read Tintin?
Tintin? No, I don't think I ever did. Was that one you read to me? I don't think so.
I think I read Tintin to Thomas.
Okay, yeah, that's not one that was ever on my radar.
Hey, Daniel, will you ever read a Doctor Who book?
I didn't even know there was them, but sure.
There are many.
Oh, interesting. Well, I should have figured. It's a giant franchise. So
and Gail Garcia recommends them. So there you go.
Thank you, Gail Garcia. Okay, okay, now I'm in serious reorder mode.
Thoughts on Blood Meridian?
Don't know what that is.
Hagrid voice. I can't remember. It's been too long. I can't remember.
Yeah, sorry, guys, but it was great. I can promise you that.
And then I had to come up with a whole nother set of voices for the Lord of the Rings, but it was fun coming up with them. I'll tell you that.
I can tell you from my childhood, those were some of the most precious memories I have.
I'm trying to remember how I did Hermione. That was so much fun. I remember having fun with Hermione, but I can't remember it. Hey, Daniel, I'm halfway through The Eye of the World, and I love horror elements. Jordan's writing style is so captivating. Thank you for making me want to read it.
I wonder if you'll agree with me on this. Jordan's a very good example of beauty and simplicity. He doesn't do anything super fancy with his prose, but you get captivated by the fact that he's just very descriptive. He can be overly descriptive for sure, but he pulls you in with just how much he immerses you with the word.
I found him to be very workmanlike in a good way, and I never stopped to think, wow, that was beautifully written, as I do with some authors.
Yeah, which exactly, he's not exactly poetic, but he's very, very, yeah, what I said.
Matthew says, I just got to a huge part of Lord of Chaos with Nynaeve, and I'm really excited and loving it so much. Thanks for getting me into this series.
Lord of Chaos, Nynaeve. I'm not going to spoil it, but I'm trying to think what that could be.
I'm Danish, but we get called Dutch by Americans all the time. Stupid Americans. Does that count?
No. I apologize on behalf of America.
Yeah, sorry. Hello, Washington, Oregon.
Washington, Oregon. Oh my gosh.
France, Alsace. We drink what you think. Trinidad and Tobago.
Are we stereotyping European countries now? Is that what this is turning into?
Are you from Trinidad and Tobago or Tobago? You tried Portuguese wine. Well, back when I was in high school, 1,000,000 years ago, we drank Mateus. I'm sorry. And I can't think of any Portuguese wines since then.
What is Mateus and why was that a thing?
It was really cheap, and you could have it at an Italian restaurant and thinking you were being international. And then there was always a candle stuck in the top of the Mateus bottle. By the way, I gave Daniel all of my Asimov books. And 1,000,000 years ago, back in the 60s, there was a serious book called The Sensuous Woman, about how to be a sensuous woman. It was like Cosmo, all digressed into one little paperback. And then The Sensuous Man came out, and people bought that like crazy. And Isaac Asimov, Dr. A, not to be outdone, then published The Sensuous Dirty Old Man, which I thought was just fabulous. And boy, this copy is really worn. I guess I was into it more than I thought I would be, but it's really, really funny. So that's The Sensuous Dirty Old Man.
I have a question. Wait, I just lost it. What was my question? I can't remember. Move on.
Moving right along. Dookadoo, footloose and fancy free. Look at all. Oh, French Tunisia. I have been to Tunisia for 2 weeks. I stayed in Monastir and Sousse. Oh my God, I love Tunisia. It is so beautiful. I have rugs in my house hanging on the walls, and a prayer mat from Tunisia. And wow, going to the original plains where Carthage was outside of Tunis. I loved Tunisia. So thank you, Dragonheart. Your country rocks. I'll go back to Tunisia someday.
I can't find my copy of Red Sister. How is this possible?
Check next to Blue Sister.
No, it's Gray Sister, and there's Holy Sister.
Holy Sister.
Exactly. Guys, do you guys see my copy of Gray Sister? Take a close look. It's got to be around here. Did I lend that to someone? I don't think so.
Mr. Green, are there some books your son loves and you don't know why? Sorry for my English.
Everything grimdark. Everything I've read that I like that's grimdark, he would not like. Flat out, straight up. He would not like Joe Abercrombie. He would not like Mark Lawrence.
Much of Stephen King.
Much of Stephen King. He probably wouldn't like Timson Muir. He probably wouldn't like he wouldn't like The Witcher. He probably wouldn't like Brian McClellan. I don't know.
Daniel's great at picking out books for me and picking out books not for me. Yeah. Okay, we have a hard rocker here. Great Sky. One of my favorite authors is Gary Gygax, the D&D guy. His take on fantasy changed my life. Dungeons and Dragons often gets seen only for the geeks out there, and I know how to unlock the mind needs to be explored by all. Hi from Australia. Hello from that's damn it. I used to be able to do a good Australian. Oh well.
Yeah, what was that accent?
Hello from down under. What part? Where are you in Australia? Yes, Gary Gygax needs to be explored by all. What a brilliant creative mind.
Did you know the story of his wife thinking he was cheating on him?
No.
So his wife, when he was making D&D, kept going out late at night, thought he cheated on her. And so she one day followed him into a house, and he went down to a basement. She followed him down to the basement, kicked open the door, and thought he was going to find him cheating. But it was him with a bunch of guys sitting around a table developing D&D, which I think is great.
Love it. Love it. American, living in Bangkok. All right.
That's why you should date a nerd. We don't cheat. If we're out late at night, it's because we're doing nerd stuff.
Ever heard or read Letter of the King, the book, not the series?
No.
Hey, Daniel, have you played FFXV? Thoughts on it, if so?
No, I don't play Final Fantasy.
I played Final Fantasy when it first came out on a computer.
The original?
Yeah, the original. Way forever ago. Sarah Green, the younger. If you could marry one character from fantasy, who would it be?
Is that for you or for me?
It says both of us.
Aviendha or Galadriel. You thinking?
Yeah, sorry, dead time. Can't have dead time. I'll keep thinking on that. Oh my God, Daniel, I've got to go back. Been to Tunisia, and Daniel's been to Egypt, but not Tunisia.
We were there during the Arab Spring.
We were scuba diving at Sharm el Sheikh on the Red Sea. I love to scuba dive. He's a good scuba diver, by the way. He's an advanced scuba diver.
Yep. I won't even die or nothing.
Daniel, let's read this question. I did not make this up.
Okay, going back to alcohol, because I'm a student, have either of you had mead at some point? Mead is his thing. He likes mead.
Wow. When the holidays start approaching, I get out my mead carafe that I bought in Egypt and my favorite mead cups to serve it in. And then when anybody walks in the house, I start warming some mead because that's my favorite holiday celebration. And my friends all know that if I'm coming to a party, I'm bringing mead. Yes, I love mead. It's fermented honey. For those of you who don't know, it's one of the first alcoholic drinks ever in the history of the world. And so, yes, I'm a big mead fan.
It's amazing how you will get drunk on mead without realizing it very easily.
It's so easy to drink. Yeah.
It's scary. You will just be sipping on it and suddenly you realize you've had 3 glasses.
Daniel, try using a man who can channel to look for your red sister. Most embarrassing Daniel story.
Oh, that's a good one. You think of any?
God, I think of all these stories about your brother running around the house and the yard and the pool naked.
My most embarrassing that comes to my head is when I was pantsed in 8th grade in front of about everybody.
Oh,
that
would do
sucked.
it. Dr. Green, do you watch Daniel's videos? Yes, I watch all of Daniel's videos. Now, when he's live streaming, sometimes I fall asleep because I'm old.
Oh, well, at least he's honest.
But yeah, I watch them and praise them and
criticize them.
And criticize them, give him some pointers. Sometimes he'll ask me about things before he even does them.
Hi, Kay. Sorry, someone just messaged me.
Fatty Moner, lovely to have you guys in Egypt. You are always welcome here, and Charm is on.
You mentioned 8. The food was also very good in Egypt.
It was. Sharm el Sheikh, very lovely diving.
And the people were so nice.
Chad Ravenwood, mead is the only thing I drink. That's because you haven't tried my home brew, Chad. Mead is great.
Yeah, mead is really, really wonderful.
You should definitely try Russian mead. I lived in Russia for a year and drank it with friends before exams because our Russian got better. I'll bet it did, Kay.
I like that.
Wow. I've never had that, I don't believe. Hey, Daniel, we have a Scandinavian here. Daniel's always wanted to live in Scandinavia.
Greetings from Norway. Love your stuff. Obligatory book recommendation. Ben Peake, The Godless. The gods are dead, yet their power lives on in the humans. That sounds like something similar I'm writing.
Yeah. Speaking of mead and of Scandinavia, click, click. You have to travel to Finland and try sati, which is a Finnish spin on mead. Well, thank you, Fallen.
You're about to spend a lot of those frequent flyer miles based on these recommendations.
We should go somewhere.
I think I'm pretty good here, at least as much as I'm going to be able to do on this live stream, guys. There is a missing box of books that is stressing me out. I'm going to go have to look for. So I apologize, but that's going to take the priority here. I hope you guys enjoyed spending some time with me and my father. Do you have anything you want to end on here?
Well, one thing that we disagree on. How about that?
Sure.
What do you think of the Lost TV series?
I think it had an extraordinary start. It was very, very interesting. And then the ending was horribly communicated to its audience, and I would say is fair at best, with a lot of loose ends that I just couldn't stand. But it definitely changed television forever and is an important TV series that I still think people should watch. How about you? I
liked it a lot, and I didn't think the ending was as bad as the rest of the world did. But I really liked it a lot. Oh, try Beamish Stout while you're in Cork. Did you try Beamish when you were in Cork, Daniel?
Is it fair to say I don't remember? Because there was a lot. I used to be more of a drinker. Then I went to Ireland and they drank it out of me. So yeah, not anymore. Let me take over the seat.
You got it. I'm out of here.
You all right?
My knees. Yes.
Right. Good up. Thank you so much.
Pleasure. Bye, everybody.
All right, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in for, oh my gosh, almost 2 hours. I am sorry I made you sit here for 2 hours. And then did I see Man Carrying Things is here? If I did, I'm sorry I didn't see your stuff. All right, last one. Greetings from Iceland. Daniel, are there any volcanoes in your story? If you need any inspiration, there's an ice volcano that I'm actually in a part of one of the naval battles. I'm a big believer, if you're going to write a battle, make it distinct. So there's a lot of ice ship battles going on in Arctic waters and stuff. And yeah, that's going to be a thing. But thank you guys so much. Love. The new shelf is, I'd say, 80% there. I'm going to go tear open a bunch of boxes and try and find some missing books because I am not happy. Love y'all. Dad, say bye.
Bye.
All right. See ya.